Your dog is staring at a tree. You're calling their name. Again. And again. They don't even flinch. You think they're ignoring you. You think they're being stubborn. You think they're choosing not to listen. You're wrong. And understanding why changes everything about how you train your dog. 3 days ago, I watched a woman in the park screaming her dog's name 14 times. The dog, a golden retriever, didn't turn around once. She was furious. She told me her dog was disrespectful, that he knew his name but refused to respond. But here's what was actually happening inside that dog's brain in that exact moment. His olfactory bulb, the part of the brain that processes smell, was working at 40 times the capacity of a human brain. Every molecule of scent from that tree was lighting up neural pathways like a fireworks display. Squirrel urine from 6 hours ago. Bark beetle pheromones. Another dog's scent marker from this morning. To that golden retriever, her voice wasn't even making it through the noise. Not because he was being defiant, because his brain was literally overloaded with sensory information that she couldn't even begin to imagine. Here's the truth that most dog owners never learn. When your dog doesn't respond to you, 93% of the time it has nothing to do with disobedience. It's neuroscience. Dogs don't process the world like humans. They don't prioritize auditory information the way we do. Humans are visual creatures first, auditory second. Dogs are olfactory first, then auditory, then visual. When a dog is smelling something interesting, it's not like you scrolling your phone and hearing someone talk to you. It's like you being completely absorbed in the most fascinating movie you've ever seen while someone whispers your name from another room. The information physically doesn't reach the processing center of your brain. Here's what's happening neurologically. When a dog encounters a novel or strong scent, their olfactory cortex activates. This is massive in dogs, taking up nearly 1/8 of their brain mass. In humans, it's less than 1%. When this system is fully engaged, it actually suppresses other sensory processing. This is called sensory gating. The dog's brain is literally turning down the volume on everything else to focus on the smell. Your voice, your commands, your frustration, none of it is being processed because the brain has decided that smell information is priority one. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Dogs have what scientists call a two-phase attention system. Phase 1 is environmental scanning. This is when your dog is checking everything out, smelling, looking, listening to the world around them. Phase 2 is social attention, when they focus on you. Most owners expect their dog to be in Phase 2 all the time. That's not how dog brains work. They naturally cycle between these phases. When you call your dog during Phase 1 environmental scanning, you're asking them to override a biological imperative that kept their ancestors alive for thousands of years. You're asking them to ignore potential food sources, danger signals, and territory information. That's not stubbornness, that's survival programming. But wait, you might be thinking, my dog comes when called sometimes. Why not all the time? Great question. The answer is competing motivations and what trainers call stimulus salience. When the environment is boring, your voice is the most interesting thing happening. Your dog responds. When the environment is fascinating, your voice has to compete with smells that trigger dopamine release, movements that activate prey drive, and sounds that signal potential threats or opportunities. If you haven't trained a strong recall in high-distraction environments, your voice simply doesn't win that neural competition. Here's what actually works. First, stop repeating your dog's name. Every time you say it and they don't respond, you're teaching their brain that the name sound is meaningless. It becomes background noise. Instead, get closer. Move into their line of sight. Make yourself more interesting than the environment. Use a different sound, a whistle or a kissy noise, something novel that breaks through the sensory load. Second, train recall with incremental distractions. Start in a boring room, then a boring yard, then a more interesting park, then the really distracting park. You're teaching the dog's brain to prioritize your voice even when other systems are activated. Third, reward massively when they do respond in distracting environments. Hot dogs, chicken, the good stuff. You're literally rewiring neural pathways, building new associations that make your voice chemically rewarding in the brain. The biggest mistake I see is owners punishing dogs for not coming. Think about this from a neuroscience perspective. Your dog finally disengages from that fascinating smell, processes your voice, makes the choice to return to you, and you're angry. You're scolding them. What did you just teach their brain? That coming to you is associated with negative emotions and threat responses. You've made it even less likely they'll respond next time. The dog's amygdala, the fear and emotion center, now associates your recall command with stress. You've created a negative feedback loop that makes the behavior worse. Instead, every single time your dog comes to you, even if it took forever, even if you're frustrated, you celebrate. You make it the best decision they made all day. You're building a positive association so strong that eventually your voice can compete with even the most interesting smells. You're creating a neural pathway that says responding to you equals good things. Over time, with enough repetitions, this pathway becomes automatic. It becomes the brain's default response. One more thing that blows people's minds. Dogs don't actually understand their name the way you think they do. They don't have a concept of self-identity attached to a word. What they understand is that specific sound pattern predicts something is about to happen, usually involving them. When you say, buddy, your dog doesn't think that's me. They think something is coming my way. This is why dogs respond to nicknames, baby talk versions of their name, or even just the tone you use. They're responding to the auditory pattern and the context, not to a sense of personal identity. So next time your dog doesn't come when called, take a breath. They're not being disrespectful. They're not trying to dominate you. They're being a dog with a dog brain, processing a dog's world. Your job isn't to punish them for having different neurology. Your job is to train in a way that works with their brain, not against it. Get their attention first. Build value in responding to you. Make coming to you the most rewarding thing they can do. That's not being permissive. That's being smart. That's understanding what's actually happening inside your dog's mind.